Hello, my name is Jeremy Thompson. I'm with the Redemption House. I'm the intake coordinator here. What's your name?
I like to go by Becca sometimes,
Becca.
but it's Rebecca.
Rebecca. Okay. Alrighty. And so, what brings you into the office today?
Oh, probation.
Probation.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how long have you been on probation? Is this a new?
This is new.
New. Okay. And so they want you to take our IOP. Is that what it is, or are you on maintenance, or
Yeah, both.
both? Alrighty.
Well, I've been sober 2 months, but I just got out of
Okay.
jail again.
Well,
So they
congratulations.
think that I need some maintenance too, maybe to help me.
Okay. Well, congratulations on the 2 week on 2 months. That's a great start. Um, Let me go through this process with you real quick. I got an intake packet I want to go through you with, kind of learn a little bit about you and who you are, and then we're gonna do an assessment to see what level of care you need. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So tell me a little bit about you, like your age, or where you were born, kind of a little bit about who Rebecca is, or Becca.
I'm 36, from Texas.
Okay.
Um,
What brought you to Kentucky?
I got married.
You got married.
Yeah,
Okay. How long you been married?
it'll be 11 years soon.
Congratulations. That's a long time.
I put him through though,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I bet he probably put you through a little bit too, though.
for sure. A little
Yeah.
bit.
Alrighty. So, what kind of work do you like to do?
I like factory stuff.
Factory stuff. Okay.
I'm trying to change over some things.
Can you change things? All right. So, what do you said you were here for probation? But what are your reasons for being here, or do you have a reason for being here outside of probation?
Well, right now I don't have a reason. They just told me I have to do this.
You have to do this. Okay. All right. Well, this is a starting point. Maybe as you go through this, maybe you'll have some more, find some reasons, right? And the longer we're sober, the more plans come together, and the more clear-headed we get. You might have some reasons for wanting to stay sober. Um, so, what kind of drugs did you like to do on the streets?
Meth.
Meth?
Yeah.
Anything else?
I like smoking weed, but
Okay.
mainly meth, pills.
Okay.
Really just meth though.
Okay. You said you've got 2 months clean right now. What's your longest time being clean?
Like all together, like a whole string.
No, just okay. So, well, let's ask this question first. How many years have you been in addiction?
About 16.
16. Okay. Out of them 16 years, outside of just incarceration, how long would you say you stayed clean at any one time?
Well, maybe 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So, tell me a little bit about that. What happened at the end of that 2 years that made you relapse?
My dad died, and then I just didn't have nobody. I had a husband, but
Okay.
I just felt alone.
Left alone. Alrighty. What about did either one of your parents use, or?
My dad drunk. I don't know
Okay.
much about my mom.
Okay. Alrighty. So have you ever had any problems with like suicidal ideations or thoughts?
Oh
or-
yeah, I used to cut.
Okay, self-harm. Okay.
Self-harm,
How
yeah.
long ago was that?
Well, I used to self-harm when I was a teenager, but I really haven't like tried to kill myself or nothing since. I
Okay.
threatened it, but I don't never go through with it.
Okay. Alrighty. What about homicidal ideations? Do you ever want to hurt anybody else? Or? No. Okay.
Well, no,
Maybe your husband a time or two.
sometimes.
That's understandable. um, So have you ever been in a inpatient or outpatient mental health program? Or do you have any like mental health diagnoses that you know about?
No, I don't know the mental health stuff. I've never really. I always tell them they're crazy.
Okay.
I
Alrighty.
mean, I've been to rehab. You know what I mean? Like.
But was that
they-
for substance abuse or was that for mental health?
Oh, just substance abuse. But they do send them count people in at the jail.
Okay.
But I tell them to go shove it because I mean I ain't with all that crap.
Okay. So any What about some of your medical history? Like, have you had any major surgeries or any kind of major life events that would deal
Yeah,
with your health?
I had cancer in my leg. They cut it out.
Okay. Okay, cancer. How old were you when that happened?
I was 20.
Okay.
Nothing
Anything
really
else?
else on that. Like, no, not really.
Okay. Tell me some about your childhood, from growing up when you can remember to your first drug use.
Well, my mom died when I was 2, so I don't really remember her. You know, I was raised by my daddy when he was old. And so we grew up poor with Social Security. So,
Okay.
you know, we always never have, like, food stamps is what we depended on every month. And he, you know, we're always broke.
Okay.
Didn't get a lot, you know.
Did you have any siblings?
I had a brother.
Okay.
He's a couple, about 5 years older than me. Almost 6 years older than me.
Okay.
But he acts like he's younger than me, so I kind of had to switch. Took care of my dad for a long time.
Okay.
You know, when I
What
got
age did that start happening?
about 13, 12, 13, I started mowing lawns and then working under the table at like a convenience store, kind of stocking beer, and then they let me do that because they knew my dad. And then I did a supplement stand. I really didn't start using drugs till I was about. It was introduced to me when I was about 15, 16.
Okay.
I was
So-
still kind of scared of it at first, but
Okay. So in that time at 15 and 16, leading up to that, did you have, like, saying, let's start in junior high, did you have any interest outside of just scholastically? Did you have, like, were you involved in sports, cheerleading, or any kind of after school activities?
junior high I played volleyball.
Okay,
Basketball.
volleyball. Okay.
I played softball like junior high outside of school. Then when I got to high school, I played softball.
Softball. Okay, so tell me about that. What did you like about softball?
I mean, I worked hard and I, was able to excel in it. So, I built myself up on it. And I love softball. I mean, I played good and that's something I really started doing full time once I got in high school.
Okay. Alrighty.
But
So
that caused some problems later on.
what happened from, so let's go to about 15, 16 when you said you started getting introduced to drugs. Did the sports kind of keep you out of that until that point, or how did that?
Yeah, I stayed away from it because I want to keep my grades right, and I was kind of just really a good kid, but I just started, once I broke my arm playing softball, and then
Okay.
when I broke my arm, that's kind of what started the downhill spur, because
Okay.
then I couldn't, I didn't care about keeping my grades straight. I just started talking to a guy, started sitting down the house, and then it just opened the door to, drinking, and that's kind of where it started, and I never went back playing softball after that.
Okay, so it's kind of a social thing on your downtime because of softball. And
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. And
More
happens.
freedom. My dad was letting me do whatever I wanted because I was 17 at that point. And, well, no, I was about 16, and then 17. 16 is when I started smoking weed. It
Okay.
was like right when I broke my arm.
Okay. So I remember you mentioning that your father drank. Did he ever drink around y'all, or?
No, I didn't know he drunk.
Okay.
He didn't tell me that until like later on.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, what about any mental health on your mom or dad's side that you know about? Do you know if they
Oh,
had
my
any-
dad and my mom probably both had it. I know for sure my dad. He stopped going to school in like 6th grade, and like.
What
as I-
mental health diagnosis, like depression or bipolar, anything
I
like
think
that?
he has the depression.
Depression. What about your mom?
I think my mom was bipolar,
Okay.
schizophrenia. I was so young when she died.
How old were you when she died?
I was 22 months old.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So who was the female
But
figure?
let me touch on my mom real quick. Like,
Okay.
so, I never wanted to take medicine. This is why I always tell them to shove it when they come to the mental health stuff, because, like, my mom overdosed. Like, she took hard medicine because she would throw fits, is what my dad told me. And so most of my life I didn't want to take medicine because she died. The last time that she threw a fit and took her medicine, my dad would have to keep her locked up. And she was in her 30s, and she died, like, they pumped her stomach, infection, and died from it. So, like, I've always been hard-headed about it. That's why I don't want to take medicine. That's one of the main things. Like, I didn't know you could ask that, so
Okay.
I kind of bury that back. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I like put it back in the back of my head so I don't think about it.
Okay. Do we? So would you say that could possibly be maybe a reason behind substance use, maybe to kind of hide from the reality of that?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Like, I don't
Alrighty.
want to admit it, but
All right. Well, that's fine. Well, what's said here stays here. I do want to tell you that. I did forget to tell you that. But anything you say here is confidential. I am a mandatory self-reporter, though. So any abuse you tell me about to you or children or anybody else, I do have to report. Or if you know, are expressing harm to yourself or others. Not just if you say you feel like it, but if you're saying I'm gonna go home and do this, then we have to go to escalate that to a crisis situation. Other than that, though, what's said here stays here. All right, so tell me a little bit about your spirituality history, cultural history. You said you were raised by your dad. What was his background?
he raised me church Christian.
Okay.
My grandpa was preacher,
Okay.
evangelist.
Was this your mom's dad or your dad's dad?
No, I didn't. It was my god grandparents.
You got a grandpa? Okay.
I
All right.
didn't meet my mom's. I haven't met my real grandma and grandpa,
Okay.
so I've only had them.
Okay, so you only had them. Okay. So would you say your grandma played the kind of the female role for you growing
Yeah.
up and teaching you
Yeah.
how to be a little girl? Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, because my dad was older too, so I didn't know. Like that
When
was
you
another
say-
thing. Like I didn't know about pads. You know, needing none of that stuff. It was a rough kind of childhood a little bit.
So when you say your dad was older, how old are we talking about?
Well, he died and I was 30 and he was 85.
Okay, so about a 55-year difference. Okay.
Yeah, like
Alrighty.
not normal.
So that was probably a little different on you then, because you're not so older than average. Okay.
Grandpa.
Okay. Now we talked about your work history. Have you ever done any volunteer work or anything like that? Or?
I used to volunteer. Like, I mean, I've had times in my life like I was committed to God, church, but
Okay,
I
so
used to volunteer
volunteer
at
with the
church, I played
spirituality
church.
side of it. Okay. What about social interactions outside of church? Did you have in school? Did you have any other social events that you went to, or any things you did like that? No.
Not really. I don't really like being around other people so much.
Okay, don't like being around. Okay. Any past or present abuse or trauma?
I definitely have trauma.
Okay. Would you like to kind of get into that a little bit, or would you
Yeah,
you
we
feel
can.
comfortable? Okay.
Like, you're pretty cool.
Okay.
I don't like talking to people usually, but
Okay. So if you'd like to get in there, go ahead. I'm listening.
so I had some stuff in my childhood, like I was molested by a couple people,
Okay.
and so my dad didn't know that. I didn't tell nobody that.
Okay. So you buried that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can kind of talk about it now because I've kind of dealt with a little bit of it.
Okay.
That's definitely trauma.
Would we say that might be another one of the kind of quote unquote reasons of the substance abuse possible?
That's what I've been told. Like,
Okay.
this ain't my first rodeo, of course.
Okay.
But, and then just a little bit of how I was raised, like, that's traumatic a little bit, because I was raised by an older man and my brother and was there, and like I felt like that sometimes I got treated like I had more responsibilities and more, I had to do things that was expected more.
From you than your brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's even with my grandparents, like, he would be able to go on the road with my grandpa all the time, because he could play the guitar and I'd be stuck at home. I'd never get like the special treatment unless from my grandma every once in a while, but it just, not that I wanted the treatment, special treatment, but
Yeah.
a little girl that don't have her mama
Yeah.
wants something, and
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that I noticed, that as I look back, I sought that for a lot of years.
Okay. Okay. So let's kind of get into your legal history. So you said you're on probation. You said you have, this ain't your first rodeo. So legally speaking, and like jail incarcerations, maybe convictions, how many times have you been to jail because of your drug use?
Probably about 20.
20? Okay.
But like not every time was a new charge. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
so sometimes we like to eat bond.
I'd get high, I didn't want to go pee, so I'd skip
Okay.
skip going to the PO.
Okay.
That's why I think they want me to do this program, because it's not the problem that I use all the time. It's just like I just find I have moments. That's why I
Okay.
told you like 2 years. I mean, but I have moments like where I'll do really really good, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, 2 months,
Okay.
then I fall off. You know,
So, when you're talking about those times of good, where you're doing really good, what are some of the things that you see yourself doing in those times that maybe you don't do when you, like you say, fall off?
well usually going to church. You know,
Okay.
like having a support group at church, having people. Like one of the main things that like really gets me is when like church people do me wrong, and then that's one thing that kind of pushes me back over that edge.
So
Because
that'd
I
be a
feel like if
stress.
they can do
Okay.
me wrong, everybody's gonna do me wrong. You know what I mean? Like so it takes me back to that mindset.
Okay.
And I know I probably sound smarter than what I should on this, but I've been around it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just sometimes I don't have the strength to be able to just not go use, because it's so easy. You know, I can walk in the store now and get anything I want. You know.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So with that, what else? What else besides spirituality and in your faith belief? What else would you say you've done good in those times of doing well?
I kept a job. I mean, working,
Job. Okay, that's important.
and then like, I mean, before my dad died, I took care of him. I mean, you know, in and out. You
Okay.
know.
So, taking care of your dad. All right. So, now in the times leading up to the times where you like you said fall off, what do you see yourself stepping away from, or like, do you see yourself doing anything different during those times?
I usually don't like pray.
Okay. So,
And then,
kind of step
you
back
know,
from your faith practice.
Yeah, like, and then like I'll at work get like if I got a good job, you know how jobs are, like when you're in addiction, like I'm sure you've heard it, like you start to get a good job, and sometimes I'll just work to ignore
Okay.
situations. So
So maybe overcompensate by working more than
yeah,
is probably healthy. Okay.
and then I don't go to church. That's usually when it starts. So then it's easier just to not think about things, and then you just get in the groove of it is what it is, and it's easier just to use. I mean.
Okay. So let's talk about your support system. So in the past, during your addiction, and leading up to it and during, what would you say your support system looked like? Or did you have one? Excuse me. Or did you feel maybe that you were lacking in that area for support?
Well, the support system problem is like at the church I go to, there's a lot of old people. They just, not against the way they believe, but
Excuse me.
they just act like, you know,
They don't understand maybe?
yeah, like
Okay.
they can pray for you and I better get it right, like,
Okay.
and sometimes it's confusing.
What about friends?
My husband, like, he supports me, but he don't put up with my bull crap. So like, we fight a lot, and usually I just try to burn off. Like, that's why like we have a decent marriage, but like he won't put up with it, but he won't leave me.
Okay. So marital stress is probably a good one to put down for maybe a stressor of what maybe leads up to.
Oh yeah, because I'll just stay gone like for a couple of days, like
Okay.
because I don't want to disappoint him. So
Okay. So what about your current? We're talking about your husband now, so that's kind of a current. What are some of your current support systems now that you have in place?
well, since I've been sober for 2 months, like my husband, and then I have some friends, and then church.
Okay.
I've just been trying to stay connected. Like the stint before this, like I was actually sober. I said 2 years earlier, but I was sober like 11 and a half months, and the lady that I call my spiritual mother walked in, like she just like dropped me like rice, like I was nothing, and that's really hurt. So this time I'm like kind of being careful. So like, but instead of like focusing on so much people, when I go to church, I'm trying to not really get so involved with people, but with God.
Okay.
And then my husband, like he's a big supporter of that.
Okay. So what does that look like when you say not the people, but with God? So what does that look like getting closer to Him?
like instead of going to church and just mingling with everybody, I just try to go and listen to what the preacher's preaching and listen. You know, like I go to the altar and pray. And
Okay.
just trying to not be so dependent on man, because
Okay.
that's what, like I said, I was 11.5 months sober for this stint. You know, this, and that's what really hurt me. You know, because like I had that rejection already. You know, and I lost my mom, I lost my dad, and you know what I mean. Like it hurts when people walk away and treat you like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, so I've heard you talk a lot about some of your strengths. We would say you would say work ethic, correct?
Yeah.
Your work ethic, okay. And you also sound like you're a compassionate person. You got a big heart. So, what are some of your other strengths that you would say besides your faith? Because we know you spoke about your faith. What other strengths would you say you have for being able to stay sober and live as a successful citizen, quote unquote?
What do you mean, like in strengths? Like what?
Some of your strengths. So, for instance, you have a good work ethic. You have a strong faith that helps you, brings you peace. You said that you have a work ethic in church, and then
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of froze up. Well, I know that like I can do the sober thing. Like I did it 2 years and 11.5 months. I just have to learn that I can't take everything to heart and
Okay.
like depend on people. You know,
Okay.
because I do carry things on my shoulders. You know what I mean? Like
So, would you say that being self-aware is one
yeah,
of your strengths? Okay.
yeah, that'd be a strength because I am self-aware. I do know why I'm here. You know, like even the probation tells me like you just got. I'm hard-headed. You know.
Okay.
They tell me I'm hard-headed quite a bit. Because
Okay.
they're like, you have a good head on your shoulders if you know how to do the things, you just gotta do it. The
Okay.
reason I got probation this last time, because this last charge was I got pretty stupid. So, they put me on 5 years probation, and they're trying to give me a chance, because they know that I could do it. They told me that.
Okay.
But this charge should have sent me to prison,
Okay.
straight to prison. I busted a couple windows in a car, and did some pretty crazy things. Stole quite a bit of dope. And
Were you intoxicated? You were intoxicated at that point, I
I was
take it?
high, man.
High, okay. Alrighty. All right, so what are some effective coping strategies that you've had success with in that 2 year stint and that 11.5 month stint? What were some of the coping strategies that you leaned on?
like meetings,
Meetings, okay.
I started going to some sober recovery meetings.
Okay.
I really don't care about the sponsor thing. Like, I think that's kind of nuts. That's just my opinion of it. But
Okay, so do you have anybody maybe in your church that you kind of look to as a mentor maybe, or?
yeah, there's an older man in our church that he's been sober for a long
Okay.
time, and he don't really do the like NAA, all that stuff, but it's God, and he God saved his life, and he's just somebody that I really look up to.
Okay.
He was a bad cocaine addict, and I really use it carefully to say spiritual father, but I kind of look at him like that. But he does look out for me quite a bit. I mean, him and his wife and his family. I mean,
Okay.
I'm just careful when I draw that line now because like the way I've been hurt.
Yeah. Okay, that's understandable. Trust is something definitely that has to be earned once it's been hurt. You know, we're broken so many times. All right. So, any other coping strategies? So, right now we've got a good support group as far as outside of family. We have a work ethic. We have self-awareness. Anything else that you used in meetings? Anything else that you used that really helps you stay sober?
Really, just taking accountability for my actions. Like
Okay.
I know how to do that. You know what I mean? Like making sure that I'm not putting myself in a spot to want to go get high.
Okay.
You know, and not getting on Facebook and looking for those people that I can go get high with, or
Okay. Absolutely.
not looking through the messages that I had. You know, like staying out the loop with those things is what I try to cope with. Like that's what I use to cope with. Like try to have my ducks in a row in that.
Okay.
I have worked the steps. Like I have done that before, and that
Step
has
work,
helped me
okay.
before.
Okay, and that kind of goes hand in hand with meetings too. You know, doing step work. Alrighty, so do you take any medications? This is mental health, or you'd mentioned you were on maintenance, so do you take Suboxone or Vivitrol or Methadone?
Suboxone.
Suboxone, okay. And how long have you been at the clinic you're at with them?
So probably 2 months. Like I've been sober 2 months, so I think a little bit, about a month and a half. They
Okay.
wouldn't let me do it right off
Okay.
because I had to get my stuff together when I was young last time.
Okay.
Well, this time was 10 days, but before this stint,
So do you take anything else maybe for your health or anything like that?
um, I'm supposed to take metformin
Metformin?
for the pre-diabetes.
Okay.
That's it.
How long do you know that you've had that?
Well, when I was sober for 2 years, I went to the doctor and they said I had diabetes.
Okay. And that was how long ago?
2 years? No.
No, how long were you sober for the 2 years? How long ago was that?
Oh, sorry. So that was about 3 years ago.
3 years
'Cause
ago.
I was sober 11 and a half months, so I was sober 2 years and then I fell off about a month and a half.
Okay.
Maybe a little less than that. I can't ever keep up.
All right. Alrighty, so let's talk about some of your goals. So do you have, and these are going to be, do you know what SMART goals are?
No.
Okay, so SMART stands for small, manageable, or measurable, achievable, I think it's relatable, and time sensitive. So when you make a goal, you don't want to make a big grand goal of, I want to get a brand new house, right? So instead of being that being your goal, let's break that down into some smaller goals. So for instance, do you have a job right now? Are you currently employed?
Kinda.
Kinda. Okay, so maybe finding full-time employment.
Yeah, I'll just be doing that.
Okay, so
Relations card.
all right, so find full-time employment. What's another goal that you have? Do you have your driver's license right now, or
Yeah, I'm legal.
okay?
I mean, I don't.
Do you have your own ride, or
Well, I'm kind of. My husband and me have two cars, but like right now the trust issues on there. So
okay? So building back that trust could be one of your goals, maybe
yeah, most
with your
definitely.
husband. Okay, alrighty. And then let's see, what other goals do you have?
Like I really want to stay sober this time. Like
Okay,
I know I've been a little off in this interview, but
that's all right.
but I really want to stay sober. I'd like to be sober. I'd like to.
Okay, so remember when I told you about making it measurable and specific,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so when we let's go, instead of just saying staying sober, let's come up with 2 goals that are going to help you to stay sober. So you had mentioned meetings, so maybe attending 2 meetings a week outside of our meetings here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's one other one that you can come up with?
Like I'd like to get into probably counseling. Like maybe
Okay.
with my husband, like
So
not marriage
counseling?
counseling so much, kind of, but like individual counseling. But I'd like him to be able to go and hear like what I need. Not
Okay.
even so much him, because a lot of my problems stem from me. Our problems stem from me. Not that he's innocent,
Okay.
but
So you would like to get into some counseling for marriage, but not necessarily couples counseling.
right, because I think he needs to hear me tell a counselor stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
And
I
that's
think it would
definitely
help him, but
yeah.
I think it would help me too.
Yeah, that's definitely doable, and that's something that you could start out with your counselor, letting them know, like first building that rapport, And I don't know, I might be your counselor. We're not sure. We kind of take turns as the rotation goes, but you could tell your counselor that, and then just tell him like every month you would like him to sit in on one, so he can kind of hear not just your progress, but also hear your needs in a safe space. Right, because you have somebody there to kind of mediate it, so he doesn't feel he doesn't feel like he needs to be defensive, and you don't feel like you have to be defensive, and they can kind of mediate that for you.
Yeah, because like his views on like addiction and stuff, like he's been through it and done it, but they're different than mine because he made up his mind and stayed sober and not went back.
Okay.
And I've kind of
How long has he been sober?
9 years now,
9.
8
Okay.
and a half. I mean, it's,
Do you know how long he was in addiction?
Oh yeah, he was in addiction for a long time. I think 15 to 31, so 16 years.
16 years?
Not
Okay.
the same as me, but his addiction was way different than mine.
Okay.
Mine was 16 years of different kinds. His was robbing, stealing, thieving, prison.
Yeah.
It was
okay.
so.
So
was
he
whole-
had a lot more consequences
His was a whole
because of
different
this.
level, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Well,
And
not
he
everybody.
didn't just do
Yeah.
meth and
Yeah.
drinking. He did everything. He could
Everything.
do.
Okay. Well, not everybody's addiction's the same, and that just like not everybody's recovery is going to be the same. What worked for him may not necessarily work for you. You know, we try to build a treatment plan, which we'll talk about here a little later on. That's why your individualized treatment plan is going to be different than maybe his look like. And so, and I believe the counseling with him being in it a little bit too might help, because that'll let him understand that just because he could do it a certain way doesn't necessarily mean you'll be able to do it that way. Maybe you got to go about it a different way. That's something that we believe here at the Redemption House is, you know, not everybody's addiction was the same, so their recovery ain't going to look the exact same.
That's one thing that we don't agree with. Like we always get bump heads with.
Okay.
Like you know,
Alright.
like.
And that's where that counselor might be able to help mediate that, you know, so you don't bump heads so
But I
much.
never wanted to go to counseling other than before because I'm just like whatever. But I'm at a point now like I've got to do something. Like 5 years I'm about to spending money on probation and over stupid stuff. You know, like.
Yeah.
Now that I've got my head kind of on straight, you know, I still have my moments of craziness like in my head, but now that I'm starting to like think straight, you know, it's like I'm about to spend a lot of money for 5 years on probation.
Yes, absolutely. Alrighty, so like I told you, we're gonna get into your treatment plan real quick. I'm gonna have you take an adult psychosocial packet. I'm gonna have you do that, and you can bring this back to me, or if you want to do it here with me, either way. It's just 3 pages. You just kind of fill out, answer the questions to the best of your ability, be as honest as you can. Like you said, you take accountability for your stuff. So think of this as being the most accountable you can when you answer these questions. But we'll go with your treatment plan. So you said you want to stay sober. We broke that down into going into 2 meetings a week outside of what we require, and then also being active in church, and you said going to counseling. So those are going to be the staying sober goal. So instead of just staying sober, this is the work we're going to put in for that. I would also like to see maybe once a week starting out, you seeing a counselor. At least for the first couple sessions, let it just be you. And then you can talk to your counselor about maybe, hey, can we bring him in on and off? And let them work that out, because once they get to know you, they'll be able to, they'll know you better than I do just in this one session. You know, this is only going to be 45 minutes or so. So I'm not going to get to know you as well as you spending a couple hour-long sessions with somebody and really breaking into some of that deep stuff. You know, what we talked about, the trauma, you know, and the molestation. You know, you'll be able to really, they'll teach you how to unpack that and pack it back in and being able to cope with them emotions instead of trying to use. So we'll set that up. And then I know you kind of said you've resisted this in the past. Would you consider seeing a mental health specialist, like a therapist for that, to see if maybe, you know, that could help you right now? Because sometimes when we do drugs for so long, our brain chemistry changes. So whereas you might not have had it before, you might now, being off drugs, you might have a chemical imbalance that maybe if you had something to help you it could even be short term, to help you get going on the right path, that maybe we could take you off of later through counseling and classes like these and things like that. Would you be interested in at least seeing somebody and talking to them?
Yeah, I guess. Is that going to mess with my Suboxone?
No, it won't. It will not at all. Actually, your Suboxone clinic might have somebody you can see for that. You might ask them if you don't want to do it here. We do offer that
I
service.
want to keep that separate because I don't plan to really stay on Suboxone. Like, the only reason I'm on Suboxone right now is like they told me that it would probably help me, since this time like I'm trying to be different, do different. You know, before I never had it in my mind like I'm really gonna stay sober. I always had the back of my mind like I'm gonna go get high. Just if I hit that point, I know I'm gonna get high. But like, you know, you can't just get high one time. So this time I'm trying to use Suboxone to. They told me to get on. They didn't tell me, but they offered maintenance to me and said maybe this will help, and it has helped me. And also, I don't have in my head that I just want to get high now, like
Okay.
because that Suboxone's helping me stay. I feel like it's leveling me out. So yeah, I mean, like I'd like to keep that separate, just so when I get off Suboxone, I'd
Okay.
like to, you know, like keep going somewhere that if I'm already done with.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'll refer you there to them then, and you can just give them the form and just say you'd like to see somebody for mental health. A lot of times in clinics offer that also around this area. Okay, so those are going to be your three things I want you to really focus on until your next meeting with your counselor, and then they'll kind of go over and personalize it for you. These are just the basics. I wouldn't go through a treatment plan with you because, like I say, I've only known you for this little bit of time. This is just what you told me today. So also you had said that you wanted to find a job. So I'm going to give you a list of jobs that hire felons, and also the number to the workforce center in town. And then that way you can go there and they can help you build a resume. They can help you show you how to do interview questions with you and kind of prepare you for that job search, right? Because we want to get past the DoorDash Instacart, something more secure, something with a set schedule, you know.
That's one thing that does kind of scare me though, because like, you know, the letdown when you don't get a job
Yeah.
because you're failing and stuff. So that's one thing I can't admit, like that I've struggled with a little bit.
Okay.
Like, so I don't know, like maybe somebody can help me with that, like.
Yeah, in the
pick
workforce,
The right ones,
yeah,
like,
the workforce center, they'll do that, and then plus with the list of what I gave you, they all hire felons. They're second chance, what they call second chance employers. Because it is hard sometimes with a felony. It's hard to get some jobs. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm a little sick today. A little catch in my throat. But sometimes it is hard to get the jobs that we want, you know, the good jobs when you have them felonies. But, you know, one good thing is it's not impossible because I've seen many people come through here with a lot of felonies and they end up getting that job. They have to start out at something that they may not like right off the bat, but as they go forward in their recovery and in their treatment, they start building confidence because, you know, just like that 2 months, that's a big thing. You got 2 months sober, right? We don't want to worry about tomorrow because we're not promised it. What we want to do is we want to focus on today. Today, you're 2 months sober, right? And then tomorrow, if you wake up, you'll be 2 months, 1 day sober.
yeah.
And that's what we want to focus on is, like the old adage says in AA, 1 day at a time. Sometimes that looks like 1 minute at a time. You know, I've had clients come in and tell me I take it minute by minute. You know, because you never know what phone call you might get or who you might run into. And so that's a good thing. So do you have a primary care physician right now, or is that something you would need referred out to? Or?
I know somebody that I just hadn't been to in a while.
You haven't been to in a while? Okay, so maybe try to schedule an appointment. That could be another one of your little goals is schedule an appointment before the next meeting. And if you need a referral, just let us know and we can go ahead and set you up an appointment.
Okay.
We have a couple doctors that we use that they also run one runs a primary care, mental health, and maintenance program. So it's a one-stop shop. Then we have another one that's just mainly primary care if you want to go to something like that instead of being, you know, with mostly other addicts. And so as of today, so how do you feel now after our little meeting? What are some feedback you could give me? Is there anything maybe I could do better, or how do you feel after today, knowing that now you've got a plan instead of just stay sober? We've got a little bit of an action plan per se to go for. How does that make you feel today?
I mean, I feel better because I did come in here kind of like, same old, but I think it's gonna be good. Like you gave me some good feedback on, you know, you can set me up with a counselor. I can see some people here,
Yeah.
mental health, you know what I mean? Like, and having that hope in my head that, you know, maybe I can get my husband involved with helping me with this because he wants to be involved. You just kind of reassured me of that. So I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I don't feel like that I'm having to do this. Yeah, probation sent me. But now that I'm looking at it now, like, at the end of our intake, you know, I feel a little better. Like, yeah, they sent me, but if I want to do this and stay sober and this is good.
Okay. All right. So what? Anything else that you could maybe see that you want to add to our little action plan? Is there anything else? Any other things you can think of maybe you didn't mention, or anything else that you want to bring up, and maybe I can offer you services for, or know somebody that can give you those services?
Well, no, not really. I think that you're gonna help me a lot. I mean, the job thing, like, I worked really hard before I got into addiction. Like, I was young, but from like even before I really got hooked, I just like to be able to do a good job to stay at. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I
And
think that the way you got it set up would be good.
okay, and the Workforce Center is going to be able to help you with a lot of that. It's actually just right downtown Lexington here. We're kind of more on the south side of Lexington, but you can go to I can give you the directions and the GPS coordinates, and you can actually go down there today at the end of our meeting, and you can go down there once you've scheduled your other appointment with the secretary. We can go ahead and get you set up for that, and then that way you can get that knocked out today, and you accomplish two things in one day. And because there's a little saying that I like to live by, and it's a Latin saying of carpe diem, which means conquer the day. And I've found that helped me in my own life, and I like to tell other people that. That's why I wear a little bracelet that says carpe diem. A lot of people ask me what that means, and that's what it means. It means to conquer the day. Do what you can today, because tomorrow's not promised. And let's live life today. We can live life sober, and we don't have to worry about the getting high, the going to jail, the somebody robbing us, or where we're going to get our next fix. We can live today with joy and peace, and some happiness.
One thing I didn't tell you to add is I had an addiction as well to gambling.
Gambling. Was that tied in with your drug use, or was that?
Kind of after I tried to trade it.
Okay, you try to trade it. That happens.
And that's why my husband doesn't want me to have the car.
Okay.
Not really so much that I'm just gonna go get high, but he's also concerned that I'm gonna drive to the casino and
Okay.
you know what I mean, that's also a bad trigger for me too.
Okay.
Like when I get depressed or down, if I'm not getting high, I'll say, well, I'm not getting high.
Okay.
And I'm at the casino,
Okay.
but I'll spend every bit of money I make plus what he brings in, and that's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah. Well, that might be another motivation to get you a what we call a 9 to 5 job through a set schedule job, because if you're making money every day and you got a little bit of extra cash on hand every day, it's a lot easier to fall into that going to gamble.
Yeah.
And since you said that's something you do when you're not using, as maybe a secondary addiction, so as something you trade out, so that might be something good. That might be a good reason and thought to think about when you're looking for a job. Is I want to get a job so I don't sit there and go through my money like that.
Yeah.
Well, it was really nice meeting you. Like I say, I'm going to have you step up and talk to Ashley at the front desk. She's going to give you everything. I'm going to give you this piece of paper, and this is the different referrals. And if you hand this to her, she will be able to give you all the packets and stuff. Remember, I mentioned some resource packets we have. So,
And you said that you don't want me to do this here?
you don't have to. If you want to, we can go ahead and do that. Or if you just want to go ahead and take it home and then bring it back at your next visit, so you can hand that to your actual counselor, who's going to be your counselor, I should say. Alrighty, so this is the paper. This is all this information. You just give it to Ashley, and then if you don't have any other questions or anything, then we can go ahead and close it up.
Well, let me look through this real quick.
Okay.
Just make sure. And so this is just, okay. So I'll give this to my counselor.
Yes.
I have an anger problem.
Anger problem? Okay.
Yeah, I just read that on there. I know you said that my counselor go over this, but
Yeah.
just something as I look at this that might be helpful to get you. Because even though you haven't met me long, you might need to
Yeah.
still.
Well, you
See
can
how-
also ask for the anger management class that we offer here. You can ask Ashley about that too, because we do offer an anger management class. It's a group class, and you come in and we keep it 8 to 12 people, small groups, so everybody kind of feels comfortable with everybody. And I believe it's a 6-week or 8-week class.
All right. I just want to go through this real quick and make sure that I don't. I'm still getting my mind back. Yeah. So I'll just give this to Ashley.
Yep.
Tell her that you're gonna help me do this. And like, you said I won't see you again. You are a counselor here.
I am a counselor. Yeah, I might be assigned your case. I'm not. I mean,
So can
I can't say for sure.
Like, cause I'm real weird about like different people, you know.
Okay.
Like I felt pretty comfortable with you. Like I did have
Okay.
attitude.
I can put that. I can
If
put
you
that down
notice
here.
Like I kind
And-
of started out with an attitude.
Yeah,
Cause like,
that's fine.
but I mean, like I kind of, that would be cool. Like if maybe I'd open up more to you and.
Okay. Well, I can definitely put that down here, and like I say, I mean, I can ask for it, just say that you felt comfortable, because I do understand that. I'm kind of the same way. Once I get to know somebody, that's the person I want to talk to. I don't like talking to opening up to a bunch of people, so
Yeah.
I get that. Because I actually have a counselor myself. I have a counselor I go to, and I go to therapy once every 2 weeks, and so
Yeah, that's cool. Is there any questions or anything that I got to answer for you?
no, that's it. You've answered everything today.
No.
All right, it was nice meeting you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too.